Have you heard about Pig Kryptonite?
Natai, no, Natai, no.
Not doing it. I'm not doing it.
No, I'm serious. Alex, have you never heard of Pink Kryptonite?
I'm not doing this, Natai.
Hold on. I'm not. This is not a.
No,
I'm not.
it's
I'm not
not
trying
a
to
bit.
fuck with you.
It's
It's not a bit.
thing. It's an actual
Hold on. Let
thing.
me.
Does it turn the frickin' frogs gay?
I mean,
No, it's not an Alex Jones thing.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Anime Club After Dark's movie reviews, a discussion of the good, the bad, and the downright ridiculous of anime movies. I'm your host, Alex, but you can call me Senpai, and I am joined tonight by our poser extraordinaire, Natai.
It's good to be here with you, Alex.
Oh, don't force it, man. Don't force it. Don't force it.
It's a joy. Every second I share with you is a joy.
He's lying. And we also have a man who must never, ever run away. It's Shinoda.
hello, I ran away.
Yeah.
I'm at a friend's.
to a new place.
Hi, Runaway. I'm dead.
Hey, Shinoda.
Oh wait,
look,
wrong franchise.
Yeah. Hey, Shinoda, look up for a second. I don't recognize the ceiling. Oh man. But yeah, we're here tonight to finish off our Evangelion Rebuild review series with the most stupidly named movie in this 4-part series, Evangelion 3.0 plus 1.0, Thrice Upon a Time.
Just call it 4. Just call it 4.0.
You guys just don't understand Anno's brilliance. God
damn it, Anno, this is why. Why did we have to do this?
It's the Valve curse. It can only count to 3.
I know. He must be an employee of Valve. Did fucking Gabe Newell name this fucking movie? But anyway, as per usual, let's actually talk about some of the traditional technical information first. I'm not going to spend too much time on this because this is a long movie. We have some stuff to talk about. So this was originally, this was directed by Hideaki Anno, and it was co-directed by Mahiro Maeda, Kazuya Tsurumaki, and Katsuichi Nakayama. That was a mouthful.
Nailed it.
Yeah. Written by Hideaki Anno, produced by his own production company, Studio Kara. This film was originally released in Japan on March 8th of 2021. This is the largest gap in between any of the movies. So the original gap between the first movie and 2.0 was 2 years. And then there was a 3-year gap between 2.0 and 3.0. And then there was a 9-year gap between 3.0 and... I'm just going to call it 4, because fuck you, Anno.
So, on that note, it's kind of reading a bit about the movie before today. So it seemed like the whole process of making this fucking movie was
Cursed.
Was cursed because it was so. It seemed like Anno was kind of. So the production of 3.0 was such a fucking mess that it's kind of threw Anno into a second depression.
His own second impact
cycle. Yeah, pretty much.
which is amazing on its own.
Which led to, again, this very long production time of him for months not even showing up at the studio and making very little progress on the movie and kind of being unsure how
and he
to
said,
finish.
fuck you guys, I'm
this
gonna go make
series.
live action movies now.
And yeah, he actually made the Shin Godzilla movie, which I'm curious to watch sometime.
This is actually
but,
you still haven't watched it, really?
I haven't watched Shin Godzilla, yeah. No.
Bro,
final-
it's so good.
The final Evangelion movie is part of like this sort of, I want to say cinematic universe, but they're not. This 4-part series that Anno made, Shin Hero something universe. I forgot what it's called, but it's this Shin Godzilla, Shin
Ultraman,
and Shin Kamen Rider. Which Shin Kamen Rider came out this year, by the way.
Yeah. So, yeah, pretty much like the whole production of this fucking movie was. It took a while because of like both the pressure that sort of like was pressing on him after the production of 3, and just like him kind of like not being sure how to tackle this final movie. It's kind of
Also
empirical. It happened. They finished it.
Also worth mentioning, this film did have its North American premiere on August 13th of 2021. This is the only movie that premiered in North America the same year that it premiered in Japan. All the other movies had at least a year, if not more, in between their North American premiere dates and their Japanese premiere dates.
I'm glad we didn't have to wait that long.
Yeah,
this
for real.
time.
The movie itself was made on a budget of $20 million US, which is the most expensive Evangelion movie by a long shot, and it also grossed the highest of any Evangelion movie by a long shot at roughly $93.67 million US worldwide at the box office. And it is also, again, by a wide margin, the longest of the 4 movies at 155 minutes. And
It's a
it feels
chunky
every
movie.
minute of it.
It's
God
a
damn
huge
it.
movie.
2 hours and 45 minutes.
35.
Or 35 minutes, excuse me, yeah.
And it still didn't feel as long as 2.0.
I disagree with that. I disagree
don't
with
know,
that.
man.
I think this movie felt like it was the longest. There was a lot that happened and a lot that didn't happen.
I just like I remember, so like going into this movie, I was kind of skeptical because for the most part I have mixed feelings about the rebuilds. Like I liked 1.0, 2.0 I liked the contents of it, but as a movie I was very disappointed by it. And then 3.0 I was like I liked it. I liked it quite a bit, but I still was kind of unsure what's this final one gonna be like, and especially when I saw the runtime. But I was pleasantly surprised by the movie. I was genuinely like, it was fucking great, man. It's fucking Ava, dude. I love it.
It's Anno. It's something.
For sure.
So let's talk about art and animation, cinematography, all that jazz.
Holy shit.
There's a fair amount of CG in this movie. Most of it is good. I will say there's a sequence in the last quarter of the movie that looks like it was rushed severely. I'm not saying that it looks horrendous. It just stands out, and I think that's not good when you're mixing CG and 2D animation. I would love to get into that more, and I will when we get to the spoiler section, but I feel like getting into it and talking about it would be a bit of a spoiler.
Did you notice how gorgeous the background art is in this
Yes,
movie?
the
Oh my
background
God.
art
Holy shit.
is really good. I honestly,
These backgrounds.
if I didn't know better, you could have convinced me that oh god, I've forgotten his name. Your name, the dude who did your name,
Makoto Shinkai.
Makoto Shinkai. Yes, did the background art for this this movie.
Dude, the fucking like the very end of the movie, like the last scene, that very last train station that they show, it looks fucking photorealistic. Like I was shocked how good the background art in this movie is, which shouldn't have surprised me because for the most part I think backgrounds were like really spectacular in the rebuilds, but this one was just at a whole different level. It looked
Since
incredible.
since you have mentioned that final scene in the train station, I don't want to spoil it yet, but I do want to talk about a specific scene transition, which is one of the best scene transitions I've ever seen in an anime ever.
The drone shot.
Yes, so there is a scene at the very end that takes place in a train station, and you see 2 of the characters talking to each other, and they leave the train station, and as they go out of the train station and into the open air, there's an immediate transition from them going up the stairs to a drone shot over the station, and you actually see them walk out, and it's live action. It goes immediately from anime
nuts.
to live action, and it's such a seamless transition that for a second I'm like, is this the most hyper realistic anime I've ever watched?
No, I was the same way. I was like, what the hell? Like, why does this look so goddamn good? But like weird. And then I was like, wait, this is real. Like, what the hell?
And you actually, so there's, I can't tell whether it's actually drawn or not. I think what they did is they hired 2 actors who look roughly like the 2 characters that you see walk out of the station. I don't know.
So yeah, there's definitely. So it looked like they rotoscoped, or at least like you filmed it in actual like film, and then drew over like the characters with their outfits in the show. It looked like that.
But I'm
It
wondering
looked phenomenal.
I'm wondering if they just hand drew the characters and then rotoscoped it, or they green screened 2 actual actors and then rotoscoped over that.
Well, whatever
sure,
the
but
hell they did,
looked
they
great.
did it perfectly. They honestly
It's one of the best anime transition shots I've ever seen in my life.
Again, it looked like throughout the movie looked absolutely breathtaking. Like we talked about many times about the Anoisms in the
There's lots
shot
of
composition
Anoisms
and-
in this movie.
Oh, there are. But like visually, like every now and then you'll come across a visual and it'll be like, whoo, like damn, like there's this one shot of Gendo near the end of the movie with his whatever disfigurement he has going on, and it has a shot of him from the side, and you can tell like you can literally see how the disfigurement, like how it looks like. It's like, like there are certain shots of this movie where like again breathtaking.
It's funny because
fucking
like
love it.
almost every shot that Gendo is in throughout all of these movies, and in fact in the original Neon Genesis Evangelion, you see him from the front, and then you see him from the side, and you're like, bro, are you okay?
Yeah,
It's very much what the
something's
hell.
missing. Am I right?
there are things missing. Yeah, there's lots of Anoisms, lots of trippy visuals, which I probably think is all Ano.
I
I want to know
we'll
what he smokes, because it's got to be some good shit.
good shit. A lot of very self-referential stuff, more than ever in this movie, which we'll get into later. But it feels like a love letter to Ava because it pulls from so many different parts of Ava, not necessarily just the rebuilds, but beyond that, which is crazy.
I would slightly disagree with that and say that it's not a love letter to Ava, it's a love letter to Ava fans.
I'll agree with that statement. It's a lot more of a love letter to the fans themselves than just Ava.
I mean, I think that kind of goes hand in hand. I'm not gonna lie.
I think it does, but I feel like it's more for the longtime fans of Ava than anything else.
I think that's what I meant. Like it's a love letter to Ava, meaning it's like it's very referential to the franchise as a whole, which for long-time fans it's kind of very like a satisfying part to be like, it's that thing, oh my god, it gives you that emotion.
There is a title drop in this.
There is.
Near the end,
I
you
would
hear
have-
Shinji say, Neon Genesis without Evangelion.
It's morbid.
Oh
Tom.
yeah.
It's Morbid time.
Yeah, it's again. We'll get to it later, but like, just so many. Oh my fucking god!
I'm just wondering how many people realize that Neon Genesis just literally means new beginning in Greek.
New beginnings. Yeah. These fucking Japanese people just saying cool words, and that's it.
Oh,
It's like,
that's,
it just
that's
sounds
like
cool.
half of Evangelion, man. We got fucking Nebuchadnezzar, Dead Sea Scrolls, fucking I don't know, man.
Anyway,
Anyway, I do also want to briefly talk about the music. It's the same dude still doing the music, and it still sounds absolutely fantastic. Like Natai said, there are some subtle musical references to not only the previous movies, but
the originals,
the original series as well, which was nice to hear.
this soundtrack might be my favorite of the four
movies.
It's there are so many good like there's so many tracks where they just enforce the emotion of the scene so fucking well, and they feel so like they don't feel like they're overcompensating by being there. It feels like it's complementing the visual just like perfectly. I definitely want to go and listen more to the soundtrack on its own because there's so many like moments. It felt so
classical music, my dude.
Yeah, I'm not even talking about the bombastic scenes. I'm like
even
there's
the
so
quiet
many,
moments. Yeah.
especially like there were so many like scenes where the music felt so tender and like like it just I absolutely love the soundtrack in this movie.
Yeah.
Good shit.
Also,
Also, the last song from Utada Hikaru was really good. I really liked
yes, the Last Kiss, I think is what it's called.
that. I think
It's a really good song.
One Last Kiss. I might be
One
wrong,
Last
but let
Kiss.
me check.
Thank you. I think it's either The Last Kiss, One Last Kiss, something about Last Kiss. I can't remember the exact title.
I'm looking it up.
But also sound design wise, again, really really good.
Just
we
absolutely
don't see,
crisp.
we don't see a whole lot of angels in this one, but what angels we do see still sound creepy as hell.
What I will say is the sound design for the more quiet parts of the movie were just perfect as well. You had noise where it was needed, you had noise where it wasn't needed. And
Like
they
the
did
foliage,
it perfectly. Yeah.
You have so many scenes of like people going on around doing mundane things and like just like the
Reinforcing the
organics-
fact that it is a real world and there is real life going on.
Yeah, and that alongside all the like the crazy mechanics and gizmos going around the place with all the robots and just all the shit that they're using that
Need
Anna
the sound
always
of the
like
robots.
yeah, just like it feels so, as Joe said, so crisp, so alive.
Yeah.
What?
I was gonna say something, but I'll save it for the spoiler section.
Here we go.
Alright.
No, it's good. I'm just saying, I think someone actually got choked in the sound design booth.
Wait, what? What do you say?
I'm just saying, there's a scene where someone gets choked, and I'm thinking someone.
Are you
actually
thinking
got
about End
choked.
of Ava? For fuck's
No,
sake,
no, I'm
Alex.
not talking about Shinji choking the chicken.
Did
talking
you
about
just call
someone
Asuka a chicken? God
Yes.
damn.
Yes. So without getting into spoilers, I do want to talk a little bit about the story. It's long. It is long. When you watch this, be prepared for a long movie.
Look,
Yeah, it's a
I'm
long
gonna be
movie.
honest, I
Yeah.
straight up had to, the first time I watched it, if I remember right, I had to eventually like pause it just to like take a break from it and then come back to it.
What?
Yeah.
You serious?
Because I was like, all right, I need to like pause, do something else for a little bit before I get back to the movie. I couldn't
have
sit through
something-
it straight.
I have something that may be a bit of an unpopular opinion regarding not just this movie, but movies in general. I don't mind a long movie if the story that it's trying to tell necessitates a long runtime. What I do mind is that we have movies that are 2.5, 2:45, 3 hours long or longer that are being made without an intermission built in. If your movie is longer than like 2 hours and 30 minutes, at the hour 45 mark, you should have an intermission.
As someone who's starting to get older, I appreciate this statement. I need time to go potty. I need to refill my
Maybe
drink.
not
I think
like a home
intermissions.
Not in a home release, perhaps, but in a theatrical release, yes.
Yeah, I fully agree with that. I fucking miss intermissions.
I don't. I'm so happy intermissions are a thing of the past. I think it's like just unnecessary. And then again, like if you're watching it at home, like I mean, that's like a thing you can like.
Spoken
do
like
by
someone
yourself.
who's never had to hold his piss for 3.5 hours.
Bro, go fuck yourself. I fucking watched Endgame, this 3 hours movie. Almost had to piss my pants by the end of it, but I
Wouldn't it
still
have been
That's
great
not
like
a
that?
good thing, Natai.
Wouldn't it have been great at like the 2 hour mark or the hour 45 mark?
No,
when you had like 10
no.
minutes to go take a piss.
No, fuck that. When I go to watch a movie, I want to be immersed by it. I want to be fucking in it. If
No,
I'm
okay,
watching
I
a
can
movie,
agree with you
and
on
You
by-
can take a
It-
piss and still be immersed.
no,
It's
I
a
can-
quick break. Jesus Christ.
no, an intermission that's built into the movie is not a quick break. That's like a 5 to 10 minutes.
You're telling me.
Don't shake your head. Don't shake your head. Have you
you're
watched
telling me-
all the movies? Have you watched all movies that have intermissions built in? Fuck
Yes.
you.
Yes.
I've also gone into actual plays that have intermissions, and it's
I'm so
wonderful.
happy. I'm so happy. Like here in Israel, we had intermissions in movies and theaters for the longest time. I'm so happy that's a thing of the past. I hated that shit so much.
Nah, it's one of the actual good things about old movies, especially when they were long movies. I don't mind if there's no intermission in like an hour 45-minute movie or a 2 hour
Even
long
a
movie.
2 hour movie, it's fine. But if it's going over that,
Wait.
like, yo, come on.
I don't think all
I'm surprised
movies
you're
need
saying this about
intermissions.
this movie and not on Ava 2.0. Because Ava 2.0 was a movie I'm like, holy fucking shit. I'm just like kind of done with it 30 minutes before it's even over. It's the truth.
Anyway, it's a long movie. And you will have a couple of existential crises while watching this movie.
It's great. I love it.
As I assume Anno himself did several times while making it.
Ava
can
and
tell.
BoJack, the perfect combination of shows that will make you depressed.
Now,
Sad
BoJack
Horse
will make you want to go into therapy. This shit,
No,
this
no.
is just gonna have you question life.
Bro, you have no idea what BoJack made me do. But anyway.
No, BoJack will make you go to therapy. This will make you text someone and say, "Hey, you're cool. Don't come to school tomorrow."
Jesus, Alex! Alex! Fuck, man! Can't be saying that shit.
If the FBI ever arrests you, I'm not gonna be there to testify. I'm just gonna be like, I'm not coming. I'm on the other end of the ocean. Don't bother me.
Oh, don't worry. They'll come after me for far worse.
Alex, stop incriminating yourself, you fucking cock! God.
Where's I gonna go with this?
So the movie is long. Yeah, it's the longest of the four.
Yeah. I have to. For me personally, I feel like at least 30 minutes could have been taken out of this movie very easily.
Ugh.
There are parts that I get the point of them, I get why they're there, but I think they dragged on for like 15, 20 minutes too long.
I disagree.
Unfortunately, I have to agree, which is a shame because, like, I enjoyed every part of the movie, but still, even when you have to say something like that, and I have to agree, it's just, it's uncomfortable.
Like,
but yeah,
I don't
I
feel like this
disagree.
particularly is a spoiler, but there's a point. It's I would say in the first third-ish of the movie where for 20-25 minutes we're watching Ray become a farmer. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, this is cool, but you could have done this in like less than 10 minutes.
I disagree.
hey.
It's so like, ugh. The whole point of in terms of like a movie length for me, even if it's a very long movie, if I'm engaged throughout and immersed in the experience, I don't mind the length. And in this movie, it felt like that very much. It was very, again, I'm comparing to 2.0 because it's kind of what I, in retrospect, wanted 2.0 to be. I felt engaged from the first second to the last. That first half, which is very, it's a very slow burn. It's a very calm,
very slice of life.
very
Very
I wouldn't
slow
even call it slice of life. It's very melancholic and very, just it's very heavy on like character interaction and character growth. I was engaged throughout because it felt like it was taking its time for good reasons to explore this world further than what we usually did, to explore these characters, these regular people. That's the thing that I felt was kind of lacking throughout most of these rebuilds. Actually delving into the actual people living regular lives in this world. And I really appreciated how they used that whole section to use the characters as like a vehicle to experience this part of the world still recovering from all the shit that's been happening, and also as a way to see and further like delve into the characters what the hell is going on with them, because boy, like everyone's a mess in this movie and I love it.
Hey, hey,
It felt
Alex.
engaging.
Alex, I just have to say, Farm Girl Ray, am I right?
I loved it. I loved it so much.
I don't disagree that it was a good thing to watch and it was engaging for a time. I didn't need 30 minutes of her asking people over and over, why do you say goodbye? Why do you say hello?
It was literally 5 minutes. Come the fuck
It's
on.
an important part of her character, man. Character growth.
I get it. I get why it's there. I just don't think it was done as good as it could have been. And I think certain things are harped on way too long.
Maybe a couple things could have been shortened, but overall, it was important to see.
I feel like the movie was paced fairly well. There was like
Well,
a
it
length
depends
of
on
what they
what
were
part of the
going
movie
for.
you're talking about, because the first half
All
is
of it.
paced very differently than the second half.
I know. I've said I think it was paced fairly well for all of it. The beginning was very slow, very methodical, very much about like seeing the characters interact with each other, and like I love that. I think that's one of the best parts of the movie. And then when shit hits the fan and like stuff's going on, then we go like full like balls deep craziness. It's great.
Um, I don't know. Listen, I don't know, man. There were parts of it I could have done without.
A lot of booty shots though.
Oh, there's a shit
Booty
ton
shots
of
for
ass
days.
shots. My
Booty
God,
shots
and
for
not
days.
not just girls. There's guy booty shots in this too.
The equivalence was
I'm beginning to suspect, though I don't have much evidence, that Ano might have a thing for butts.
no, really.
I mean, I have no faults with the man if this is the case. I mean, they're great. They're fantastic.
There's a lot of good butts in this movie. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, unfortunately, we don't get to see Misato's ass in this movie, which is it's an oversight. 2 hours and 35 minutes and not one single Misato ass shot. Oh no, come
You're
on.
missing your dump truck.
I missed the dump truck. Misato go.
She's putting on her Gendo costume, so no butts allowed.
She got a fucking missile carrier back there.
Yes.
Oh my god.
I don't really think we can talk too much more about the story without getting into spoilers. So I guess from this point on, spoilers, guys. If you haven't seen the movie, I guess go see it.
If you haven't seen the goddamn franchise, the Rebuild movies, watch it. It's great. We recommend it.
Yeah. So let's actually get into spoilers.
This fucking movie is so fucking wild. I love it. I want to watch it again right now. I don't want to I don't know why I'm recording this with you guys. I want to watch it again. I watched it last night.
After this shit, I'm gonna need to go to therapy.
I can summarize this movie in a couple of different ways. One of them would be their heads exploded.
Oh,
I cannot. So you talk about the character growth and the character development for Rei, which is all well and good, and then she immediately dies.
And that's the trigger to get fucking Shinji to get off his ass and be like, all right.
If it's about the journey, Alex, that's what mattered.
Yeah.
He saw how much he tried and cared for him, and how much his friends also cared for him. It's like, my God, it's so cool. They were just talking to each other. I loved it. I love the character interaction in this fucking movie. And yeah, when her head popped, I was like, oh my God, shit.
I mean,
God.
you weren't as surprised as she was.
She wasn't as surprised. Let's be honest.
Yeah,
She was like
she
kind of like,
knew
oh
what
shit,
was
time's up.
coming.
Yeah, she knew like her time's up. It seemed like that's what she. Like.
Before anyone says anything, I get that there's a lot of symbolism in this movie. I get it. I think a lot of it doesn't come across as well as Ano thinks it does.
Okay, so we said it a lot of. I said a lot of times, and I think that in this movie it's also very apparent. Sometimes Ava just throws the most gibberish shit at you with cool names, and you're like, "What have you said? This is not English." But
They ask you to roll with it a lot.
yeah,
Yes.
but that's not for me. That's not what matters in Ava as much. It's more about the characters and the emotions that they go through. That's the core of the experience.
But could you see how people could be a little turned off by that?
Definitely,
course.
definitely.
Of course.
Definitely. I was never under the impression that, okay, let's say it's not much about you don't get Ava. Ava doesn't get you. You know, I wouldn't put it that way.
Okay.
No, for real though. I don't blame anyone who doesn't connect with Ava because it's kind of like throws all that fucking shit on Laura to the side and like whatever sticks.
And
But at
some
the
of
end
it
of the
just
day, that's
never
like
is explained.
no, it's never like stuff just happens and you're like, but why?
Because
But
like yeah, because like even at the end of this movie, which is the end of Evangelion, to quote a
literally, it's the end
literally,
of Evangelion.
Ano says he's never going to touch it again. We'll see if he ever gets depressed again and has his third impact. But there's a lot of like unanswered questions even at the end of this movie.
Because those, it doesn't really matter. Like what does matter is the journey of the characters and where that leads them and how they grew. And in that aspect, I was very satisfied by this movie. Very similarly to how I'll never forget the first time I watched End of Ava. It literally fucked my brain out of my skull. I was like, what am I even watching? And in a good way, this movie sort of like scratched that part of my brain again, and it did feel like a very fitting conclusion. Again, I was kind of skeptical about this movie going in, but after watching it, I feel like it's a very fitting conclusion to Ava as a whole.
I agree with
talked
that.
about we talked
well,
about
one thing I can definitely tell you is that in this movie, there's a lot more of character dialogue than there is in the previous movies. Or at least it certainly feels like there is.
more
There are
character
genuinely
introspection,
times,
maybe.
There are genuinely times in this movie I thought, is Anna trying to make this like the Monogatari series?
Also,
I wouldn't go
Alex,
that far.
I'll say this: there's more monumental character dialogue in this movie.
There's more consequential character dialogue in this movie.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, of
Oh,
course,
this-
this is the end of it, so of course that's where it leads to. That's why it's like that. But I think that might be why it feels more significant.
That final confrontation between Shinji and Gendo was, bro, like even beyond like the physical confrontation between the Avas, that
It's
scene
in
where they're
his
on the train,
memories.
that scene when they're on the train, the same train from End of Ava, you get it? What they talk about, and you actually dive into Gendo's past for the first time. You kind of see what happened to him and how he got to where he got.
They're literally having their first father-son bonding moment.
Yeah, exactly. And when I think it's Gendo like, or is Shinji telling Gendo how, like they're talking about his weakness and how he viewed his weakness as something bad instead of embracing his own weakness. It's like, fuck, man. Like that's one of my favorite conversations in the movie because it feels like they're tearing down his walls and finally like understanding each other and people. And when he fucking hugs Shinji for the first time, I'm like, they're fucking redeeming him. I'm losing my mind here, dude. They're redeeming this cunt for the first time. My God.
What are you talking about? He's the best dad in anime ever.
I'm
Oh
sure,
my
yeah.
god, fuck off.
Holy shit. That entire conversation between these two was wow, dude.
The emotional weight of it was heavy.
Yeah,
Like,
I mean
you
it was
could feel
very
that.
well done.
Also, when they do fight, I love the self-referential nature of it. So when they fight each other in like the city, and when like it's literally animated like a Power Rangers fight or a Godzilla fight.
Yeah, because
where
he
the
gets thrown
buildings are
back
like
and
moving.
he hits a green screen like thing.
Yeah, he hits like a wall, and then like the buildings as well like move about like they're like toys or something from a fucking
Like they're made out of
tokusatsu
foam.
movie. Yeah, and then like the walls come down and it's just a sound stage. It's like holy shit, dude! I love it.
I probably should have mentioned this before when we were talking about non-spoiler stuff. There's another thing toward the end of the movie, which I also think is a very self-referential thing when like the universe is resetting, where it starts going and like the animation just starts to melt away, and you get like there's no more shading, and then the next thing is there's no more colors.
I loved it. It
and
looked
then
beautiful.
It's just line art, and then storyboards, and then just
You think that
cardboard
was a reference
cutouts.
to the end of the series?
I think it
A
is.
little
I
bit,
bet it
yeah.
is.
A
I
little
bet
bit.
like the actual last two episodes of the religious series. I bet it's like a, I don't know if it's like a dig or just like a reference to how it was like very minimalistic
It
animation.
had to be because
So
they had no money.
I'll say this. When I remember years ago when I was first watching this, when I saw that happening, I'm like, what the fuck's going on? Did they release the wrong cut of the movie by accident? I was confused for a good minute. I was like, the fuck is happening?
It was so pretty though.
It was cool. It was cool as shit. I was just like, what the hell? And then like a minute
I
later,
like
I'm
that
like, oh,
transition.
this is on purpose. Okay, cool.
I like that transition when Mari comes out of the water and it just snaps back to animation.
Yeah. Just like the amount of references, like the fucking, like, oh, man, again, as someone who, for me, End of Ava is my favorite, one of my favorite movies ever. Like the amount of references to it just makes my dick hard, dude. It's so fucking cool.
I
They
made
they
Shinji's dick
revisit.
hard too.
I know, right? They go back to the ending scene of End of Ava, and instead of Shinji choking Asuka, they're talking about their emotions, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I was kind of, I did love you for some time, but for like at one point," and she was like, "Yeah, I also loved you too." And it's like, and they talk about their emotions. It's
Bro,
like, my God, dude,
that
oh.
that entire scene, and not just them, like it starts off with them talking about that, and it was just like, oh god, it's getting real and it's getting very weighty.
Hmm.
um he talks to her, he talks to Kaoru, he talks to Ray,
Talks to
just
everyone, yeah.
everyone, and just goes through it with all of them. And it's
It's like
like
a final goodbye to
the
everyone.
big payoffs of everything. It's just like, holy shit.
Yeah,
it's it feels like a final goodbye to all the characters.
Because that's what
It's
it was, yeah.
yeah, it's so
like
good.
it's funny because I wish the movie was more of that. Like I wish we got more of these like super emotional moments between the characters. Like I get that you need the setup at the beginning. I just wish more of the movie had these like more of what we got between Shinji and Gendo or Shinji and Asuka.
But that's
Uh,
exactly the thing. Like the first half is building up to that final confrontation.
I know.
You have so much stuff in that first half. Like you have so much world building as well. You have so much like character interaction between the cast and some of the characters we didn't get a lot of time to interact with before you move on to the craziness of the final, the second half. I
Mm.
I I love how much like time the movie gives you with these characters, like Kensuke and Toji. So seeing them grown up, but still interacting with Shinji and sort of getting what he's going through and giving him the space, deal with it at his own pace,
Mhm.
is was fucking awesome. I loved it. And when I talk about the world building, both that the whole part of restoring the earth. So these like big dildo thing they put in the ground that restore like nature. That was really
It
fucking
does
cool.
look
The
like a
whole,
dildo.
I know, right? The whole like the headless Avas that roam the earth as well. The big moon covered in the whatever thing is. It all like it's such a visual splendor of a movie. And like you see all these shots and they just stick with you. It's
Yeah.
awesome.
Um, yeah, like visually, there's a lot of stuff in this movie that does genuinely stick with you. Uh, the fucking Uncanny Valley Ray. Oh my god,
That was something else. Every
that was
time
a
I watched that, I
thing.
was like, Nightmare
Whew.
Fuel. Holy shit.
I
Could you
have feelings
imagine?
about that.
Could you imagine? Could you even imagine seeing that in real life?
No,
I
I
would.
never want to.
I
God.
would run away. I would be a bitch like Shinji and run away.
Every now and then, Ava delves into that horror type of just horror,
Which
and
is what
yeah,
the
that.
angels really are. Like that's why they sound so creepy.
But yeah, that massive ray was. I'm not sure if it's CG or it's maybe like using live action footage and then just animating over it. I don't know,
I
but that shit was
almost thought
creepy.
I it's very hyper realistic and well,
Uncanny Valley, even, yeah.
to a degree, and it's got that uncanny valley effect, so it makes me feel like it's something that someone drew in like a CG program or whatever. But then there's a part of me that thinks, man, maybe they just drew over an actual actor's face. I don't know.
What did you guys
really
think of Misato this movie? Because it was really... I kind of dig that they took her direction of... Because for the longest time, you don't see her eyes till, like, the very last, like, moments of her character. Just like Gendo in most of these movies. It felt like she was kind of becoming like Gendo in this movie, which I really like that sort of direction they went.
How
with
much
their
of a
character,
that
yeah.
would have been a hell of a reveal if it turned out that she was just like Gendo.
I
But that's the
mean,
thing, she was, like, going in
personality-wise,
that-
She kind of was, yeah.
Yeah, she was going down that path, which I thought was a fascinating decision to take her character in the movie.
Yeah. Obviously, she has a different goal than Gendo, though.
Yeah, but she, just like him, was on the path of no matter what, she will accomplish her goals.
The means.
Yes.
Yeah.
The ends justify the means.
Yeah, definitely. But then she
yeah,
redeems herself by the end.
I will say there's one thing that, and again, this is an Eva-ism and Ano-ism. The whole thing at the end about it in any other franchise or any other story, I would say it's 100% a Deus Ex Machina. That thing with like the new spear that they create randomly from like the ship, like
The Black Moon.
Yeah, like
It
this
doesn't
just seems
matter.
like it comes out of nowhere.
It just doesn't really matter.
I know
'Cause
in
the
the
whole
grand
point
scheme
of
of
it
things, it's not what Eva's about.
Yeah, it's just like another tool they use to then further like the conflict with, because clearly like the conflict between Shinji and Gendo, it starts out in a fight, but then it literally culminates in just a conversation between the two, because it all leads to just a conversation between a father and a son, and it's like it's such a real and raw kind of conversation that they have of Shinji finally understanding his father and his father understanding his wrongdoings, leading to him sacrificing himself and Yui, Shinji's mom, in order to reverse all of this fucking shit that they did.
I tell you what, Yui must have had the best pussy ever to have Gendo do all this. Like that is, she must have like a gripper. I don't know what, man.
You could say that it was probably divine.
Oh, definitely. Like all of
Why
this
did
is
you
just
have-
because he can't let go of that pussy.
Why did you have to say gripper?
Because
You
it
stop.
had to.
Why
It
do you
had
have to be you?
Because I don't know how to be any other way, Natai.
You bet his parents. You know where
This-
it came from.
I'll tell you something. Good pussy will make a man do crazy shit, and Yui's supposed to.
She literally she literally gave Gendo a new meaning in life. That's the whole beauty of that flashback that we got, which was awesome. I love that flashback. It shed so much light on his character for, it feels like the first time we ever got like
His
a moment to
character,
see.
his motivation, it
Yeah,
really
everything.
expanded everything.
What did you guys think of the lesbian tension between Mari and Asuka? Because
There was a
hot.
lot of
It was
lesbian
hot.
tension.
I don't know if it's supposed to imply that they fuck or what, but
Which also leads to the growth, kids. It feels like for the first time Asuka was able to rely on someone else and to not be like, I got this, I can do this by myself. But she was willing to share the burden and fight alongside someone else during this whole like fucking thing.
she was willing to share the burden. But was she willing to share that bed?
Lay off, you pervert.
Hey, but in the end, I guess in the end, Mari ended up with Shinji.
Yeah, that was shocking.
That was a choice that rang through the internet when it first aired. I
Bro,
remember
fucking seeing
that.
Shinji flirt with a girl. Who the fuck would have thought that would happen?
Hey,
He was not
Hey.
just flirting. That man was beyond
think-
flirting.
No.
They were on the way to fucking bone each other.
They were on a way. No, this is a genuine question. Do you think I have a theory about why Mari even exists in this show?
She's a literal
Sure.
write-in for his wife, and Shinji is
No.
his OC.
I think the only reason Ano created this character was to tell all those waifu motherfuckers to say, "Go fuck yourself." It's
My
neither
wife
of
is
them.
the best waifu.
I genuinely think that's the whole point of Mari's character. Like Ano is like, you know what? Fuck you guys. It's not gonna be either.
Which actually is kind of hilarious, honestly. I'll give him props for that. So,
Um,
not who I expected him to end up with, but you know, I'm here
I mean,
for it.
we all know.
Was it
we
ever
all
such
know.
a big? Was it ever such a big question? Who gave a shit?
It wasn't. It was
You
never a
know,
big
it was just
question.
these fucking smelly ass basement dwelling weebs that needed
Natai.
their payoff. That's who
Natai.
gave a shit.
Natai, you've seen the original show. You know that there was never a huge part of the show. What it was a talking point for fucking weebs for decades.
I never got that. Like, I don't know, man. He strangled one of them. That's not a basis for a good relationship.
I think you'll find that a lot of people are in relationships that start exactly that way, Natai.
Oh my god. Only in bed, please.
But yeah, that
sequence
Asuka
at the
force
end.
feeds Shinji was great.
Bro, that was I again going back to that first half with how raw the emotions felt in that first half. Like her frustration with him is I love it because again that this Asuka is, while she might still look like a child, she's a grown woman by now because it has been like 14 years. Yeah,
15
She
years
mentally
old.
matured. She's in her same physical body. Shinji,
She even
on
tells
the
him
other
that,
hand,
yeah.
is still mentally at the same time and age.
Let me tell you
Yeah.
something. Misato has aged very gracefully. I'm just
Oh
saying.
my god. She went from whoo to
God
but yeah, she even tells him like they even talk about how even though it's been that long, he's still a child. He's still haven't figured it out. But through this, by the end of this movie, he has matured. He has grown up. He has learned to accept himself and
No, Asuka
like
even says so.
yeah, and accept the people around him and move on, go outside. You know, it's fucked. Like
There's
by
that
the time
scene-
those credits rolled, oh,
There's that scene near the end where Asuka and Mari are going to the Avas that they're going to be piloting, and like Asuka's like, "Hold on, I got to take a detour," and they go see Shinji.
yeah.
And I thought, oh god, she's gonna fuck him. She's gonna fuck him. He's gonna pull his cock out. And no, that discussion that they have, and then she realizes, damn, you've actually grown up. She even says it.
Yeah, she fucking says it. I'm like, whoa. I never thought she would accept him like that. That was shocking. But
And then she pulls a dildo out of her eye.
ugh. What did you guys think of the mindfuckery of like the last 40 minutes? Because it's a
exactly
lot.
that.
It was
Yeah,
trippy
it's a
as shit,
lot.
man. It was way too trippy in my opinion. I
The
feel like they could have
swarms of
toned it down
Avas.
just a little bit. Yeah.
No,
The
no.
anti-universe.
No, I
Give it to
enjoyed
me.
it. I enjoyed it. Don't get me wrong, but still, I was like, "Yo, this is going a bit
I
far."
will say. Do you know the trippy visuals really reminded me of the end of 2001: A Space Odyssey?
Just wasn't as boring.
Let me tell you something. I'd rather watch that movie 5 times than this one ever again.
No.
Wow. Tell us
I
how you
tried.
really
And you know what
feel.
that movie has in it? An intermission.
Ugh. Half of
does
that
it
movie
really?
feels like an intermission. I just got. I'm sure it's like no one's gonna take me seriously for that. I tried to watch that. I watched that movie 3 times. I just could not enjoy it. I tried so hard to enjoy 2001. I just can't. It's so.
Listen,
Ugh.
listen. Cerebral sci-fi isn't for everyone.
It's not cerebral sci-fi. It's a humongous turtle going at nothing speed. Oh my god. Oh my god, that fucking movie infuriated me. I was like, Just get on with it.
Then you
Natalia,
will
if it
hate
helps
all of
any, I
Arthur C.
tried
Clarke's-
watching it when I was much younger, and I couldn't. I need to try to watch it again as an adult, but I just haven't gotten around to it.
The best section in that movie is the middle of it, and the rest is just whatever.
And you will hate Arthur C. Clarke's writing because
I'll
he doesn't
give it a
write.
shot.
He does not write fast-paced stories.
It's not a matter of fast paced. It's a matter of get on with it. For fuck's sake, we're watching the same shot for like 3 minutes and it's not going anywhere.
You know,
It's weird
what
because like
you're-
I actually love Arthur C. Clarke's writing. Like I absolutely enjoy the slow world building he does. I think it's the different sorts of media is what it is.
perhaps Natalia, do you know what you're describing about the movie is exactly my feelings about like the first third of this one?
It's not the same thing. God
I
damn
don't
it.
know. It kind of
It's not the same thing. There's a difference between a slow burn and a fucking single shot of a spaceship going at just like hanging on it for like 3 minutes and not doing anything. It's not the same thing.
Yeah, oh, it is.
Oh,
Which is the same thing.
no, it's not. It's literally not. Oh, I can't believe I'm having this discussion. Oh. Okay, but back to Ava. I like again. Very much end of like. Chinoda, have you watched End of Ava?
No, I haven't. I haven't watched the original series and the end of Ava. I have not.
I would highly recommend you watch the original series and End of
Oh, I
Ava
will.
especially because that
that's
movie
the-
is incredible.
Slight
But-
spoiler, just a plan.
Yeah, but like it feels like it harkens back to just like the visual fuckery of End of Ava with the anti-universe
I
and
have,
just, you know,
I
the
have heard of it.
swarms.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, I was like lost for words for most of this movie visually because I was like, whoa, like it just I don't know, for some reason knows how to pick something that visually is like very, very powerful and you're like, what the fuck am I looking at? Like again, the swarms of the Avas fighting them and the massive ray head showing up. Like there's so much like jaw-dropping visuals in this, especially in the last 40 minutes.
Can I ask you something? And I feel like this is the proper time to ask this.
Okay.
And not just this movie, but all four movies as a whole. Do you think that this project to kind of remake Evangelion in a more, I guess, fitting way, or the way Anno wanted to tell the story, do you think it would have been better as a series than a series of movies?
Nah, I think it was a good decision to go for movies.
I think overall I would have enjoyed it more if it were like a 20 or so episode running series.
I mean, with Anno's tendencies, let's call him, I think it turned
That's
out
a nice
for the
way to
best
put
that.
it.
Yeah, I think it turned out for the best that they went with the movie format. Because imagine if like they were making a TV show, it's a much stricter schedule, right? That you need to keep up with, and
Depends on
considering
who you get to distribute it. Because if he had done something like with Netflix,
I don't
he
know.
could have had
I-
20, 45-minute long episodes.
I think that I don't know if with Netflix it would have fly because all these movies were still funded, you know, right? Like
true.
all the earnings they made went into making the next movie, so they had full control over their schedule and production time and whatnot for the movies. So I think that turned out for the best in terms of giving them more independence when making the movies, which I'm all for.
Maybe.
In my opinion, I think if the movie route was the best route to go, in my personal opinion.
I don't know. I feel like with the type of story that was trying to be told, I feel like I personally would have enjoyed it more as like a weekly series.
It just Ava feels like such an anomaly.
It is.
Like to even think about it in a conventional sense, it feels kind of wrong because yeah, I guess in a like I would love a full season of Ava movies, but considering again what we just got with a 9-year wait for the final movie, I don't know if they would have managed to stick with it because literally throughout these 9 years they went through several redrafts and rewritten a lot of scripts. and they made very slow progress on it because Anno was just to figure shit out. I don't know if they would have succeeded finishing it as a series.
Maybe,
Makes
maybe
you wonder.
I
it
think they
does.
would have, but like depends on how much juice they had left at the by the end of it.
Yeah. Um, that's all I got for this movie. Unless you guys have anything else you want to talk about.
I think it just like the end. It just felt so conclusive. Again, like that
It
moment where
feels
they're
like
like,
an ending.
yeah, it feels like when like, I, it was so strange to watch it and be as literally as it can be about what about a world without Avas and without angels, as they literally like again Gendo sacrifices Yui and himself, and they destroy every single Ava that existed, as they say goodbye to everyone, and the world just kind of changes and they just like and then you see all the characters at the train station, see Karu and Rei and Asuka by herself, and you see Shinji like outside and he seems
Happy?
happy, yeah, and matured, and like he just like goes out into the world. And it's like Ava was always about like that's the thing I kind of like about Ava, like throughout every iteration it still has that same core message about loving and accepting yourself and trying to like find meaning in the world around you, aka go outside, you fucking weebs.
Touch
Literally
Grass.
touch grass, literally touch grass as
Like
Ray
that's the
did.
final shot. They're going outside.
Yeah, it's like I love that same message stayed the same, but it felt in this movie the most nuanced it ever has been, even throughout the original series and the original like end of Ava. It
Okay.
felt very compelling, and it felt very fitting as an ending.
I
I
will
I was
say
blown away that they did it.
I will say one thing that I also appreciated, especially about that final scene. Um, so I've been watching this entire series of movies dubbed.
I was actually about to ask that if you guys watched it subbed or
because
dubbed.
I watched Ava originally dubbed. I've never seen the sub of Ava. I've never seen the sub
The
of the
sub is
original
good.
series, End of Ava. I've never seen these movies subbed ever. So I wanted to watch it the way I've always watched it.
Fair.
And my boy Spike Spencer, in the very last scene where you actually see like adult Shinji, he doesn't do his like little boy. Oh, this is a new ceiling voice. He says, "Hey, how's it going?"
So you know what's cool? Like, so that's in the sub. That's also what the actress did with Shinji. Like, they sound much more mature and much more confident and much more. Even that scene flirtatious,
Flirtatious.
flirtatious with Mari. It feels like a much more adult version of Shinji, even in the sub. I really appreciate that detail.
Yeah. And I do want to say that having watched the original Ava dubbed and watching the exact, well, mostly the same group of people doing the dub for these movies, it was nice to see how much better they've all gotten at being voice actors over the years.
Did you watch the Netflix dub?
No, why? Why would I
Oh
want
God,
to?
why? Why would anyone?
I'm not. Listen,
If we'll watch,
no hate to the people who did it because they were just doing a job, but
sure.
I'm sure it probably sounds fine. My issue with it is the fact that they censored, for lack of a better term, certain scenes.
If you'll go back and watch it watch Ava again on Netflix, we'll watch it dubbed or sub,
I'll probably watch it dubbed.
even with the new dub.
Yeah, probably. I've never given it a fair shake, and I at least want to see if it's good. Like the actual voice
Sure.
acting is good.
That's
despite
fair.
despite the shitty rewrites that they did to the script. But I also might check it out. The original, because I think on Netflix they have the original sub too. So I might finally check it out. I might actually finally know what even the original Evangelion sounded like when it was subbed.
I love this voice cast so much. It's their performances in this last one, especially like I love Gendo's performance in this last one.
And I
Like
think
all
eventually
were solid.
eventually we will do a spoiler cast for the original Evangelion.
Yeah, it's still a
don't
good
know.
show.
I don't know at what point in time we will. Probably sometime next year. But we will eventually do a spoiler cast for both Ava and End of Ava.
How are you guys feeling with this being like the end of Ava for now?
The actual
Honestly,
End
it
of
could be
Ava.
the straight
The
up
actual
end
end.
of it, and I'm happy with it. I really
Until
am.
Ano says no.
Till it gets depressed again.
Yeah, till he gets depressed again. So, for this specific movie, what do we give it out of 10?
8 out of 10 for me.
And that's
Yeah,
fine.
for me,
I really
for me, it's
fucking enjoyed it. I thought there was a couple faults here and there, but overall, I really enjoyed it. I highly recommend it to everyone and anyone. Amazing movie, amazing franchise, amazing rebuild movies.
Okay. Nitai?
I gave it a 9. I loved it. I think it's the best of the 4 movies by a long shot. It felt like it brought everything together. It really felt like a final farewell to this franchise, which is like I generally wasn't sure if they were gonna stick the landing, but it felt the most nuanced, the most complex, the most like just most satisfying out of the 4 movies. I loved it. I'm looking forward to rewatching it again very soon, because it feels like just like the way I felt with End of Ava. It feels like there's so much to chew into that I just wanna watch it again and feel all these emotions again, because it was amazing. I loved it.
For me, I gave it a 7 out of 10. Still a respectable score, I think. I think it's the second highest score that I gave any of the movies. I think I gave the first one an 8, if I remember correctly. But, I mean, despite the issues that I do have with its pacing, especially in its first half, I think overall it's still an enjoyable experience. And I do think it is a fitting into the franchise as a whole. And I think it's probably the same score I give like the movies overall, all 4 movies. I'd probably give them like a 7.5 out of 10 as a complete package.
I think I would
think
give it a solid 8 out of 10 for the complete package.
I think they're kind of all over the place, the movies, for every now and then. I just like they're just such a distinct experience as opposed to the original series. But I don't know. I just like this. There's something about this movie, especially. Like I'll be thinking about it for a while now. But it was such a special experience to watch it.
Seeing
It
that
feels
ray
like
in my dreams.
I know, right? It feels like such a. I think it's like there's not a whole lot to compare to. I think it's so much better than the other movies. It feels so much more powerful as well. I loved it. I love this final movie.
All right. Well, that is not only the end of this review, it is the end of this review series. We did all 4 movies.
Hold on. I got something. I'll be right back. Go on,
there
Scott.
it goes.
I'm scared. I am very scared of what comes next.
Yeah,
But anyway.
that's the end of the Ava series review.
It is. I don't know exactly what our next movie review is going to be. I don't even remember if we have any movie reviews scheduled till the end of the year. We probably don't.
We'll be back to our regularly scheduled movie reviews very soon.
Eventually.
Suppose. Yeah, eventually.
Eventually, we'll be back.
There's still a shit ton of movies to review that
But this has been
been
fun.
wanting to.
This has been fun. As I said, we'll probably eventually review the original Neon Genesis Evangelion along with End of Ava. Oh, what does he have? What does
He's
he
back.
All right. Wait, are you signing off yet?
Have? Well, go ahead.
Okay. Get in the Crava, Shinji!
Oh my! That's a lobster,
What the
not a
fuck
crab.
is that?
The Crava!
That's not a crab. That's a
Crava.
lobster. That would be the lever.
Oh my god. Relax.
Oh my god! You can't even.
It
you
was
don't even
funny!
You don't even know the difference between a crab and a lobster.
Crab and lobster. It's called the Crava. We all call it the Crava. It's funny.
Oh my god! This dude has a lobster Evangelion.
No, not mine. This is my friend Tommy's.
Oh, okay.
What am I even doing here?
I don't know. On that note, however, I do want to thank everyone for dropping in to watch us talk about the Ava Rebuild movies. It's been fun, as I said. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff down below. If you want to see more of what we got going. Yes, Nitai, down there. Tell us what your favorite movie in the Rebuild series was. Tell us what your least favorite movie was. I don't know. Tell us why Shinji's still a fucking bitch. Also, check down below where you can find links to Anime Club After Dark on Twitter, on Discord, and you can also find a link to our merch store down below as well. Maybe we should make merch for this review series. We did make merch for Monogatari review series.
Alex,
It's
get into
something cool to
fucking
do.
mic robot.
What?
Get into fucking mic robot. What?
I don't even know where you were going with that.
I was touching the penis, so I wasn't thinking so clearly, you know.
He's stroking the cock ever so lightly right now.
It feels so good, I'm not gonna lie.
Alright, we're done.
With that, I have been your host, Alex, and we will see you next time. Say goodnight, guys.
Good night.
Thanks for joining us. Watch Evangelion.
God.
Don't come all over Kamato's girls, please, Shinji.
Over.
Stop.
20 years, and we finally have a real winner.
I want to just say to Shinji, I want to thank you so much for not ejaculating all over Komato's girl. I know that was very difficult for you not to do. I know you had to use a lot of self-restraint, Shinji, and I'm proud of you. I really am.
Maybe Shinji can also, you should buy this, penis pillow.
I mean,
We all need a squeeze, right?
I think maybe he needs it to just attach, because clearly he doesn't have one.
Good
His
night.
boyfriend also exploded.
His boyfriend exploded.
He wasn't the only thing that exploded, am I right?
Yeah! Hey,
boy.
instead of Shinji exploding over a girl, his boyfriend exploded over him.
Oh,
Everyone
poor-
exploded in this movie. Rei exploded. Kaoru exploded. Fuyusugi exploded. Everyone. Asuka exploded. Everyone exploded.
Look at how he's losing his mind over fucking people exploding.